We're going to take a look at worksheet B now. And in worksheet B, we have some shapes and it has some examples in it. And a cube, the volume of a cube is like the volume of a rectangular object volume that we're trying to get volume, what we call rectangular solid. Now, with the volume of a rectangular solid, is equal to length times the width times the height. So here's our rectangular solid. And the way you draw this is you draw a rectangle and then you draw out like, it's like you're making the depth first. And then, but you want these to be the same, you want to try to make these the same angle. And then connect them. It takes a little to get the hang of it. But, and again, you know, if you were to see through this box, then you would see, you know, like these lines coming down like this. Okay, and so we have length, width, and height. Okay, now square for a cube, that's really the exact same thing, except what's different about a cube than a rectangular shape. All sides are the same. So you still have length, width, and height, but they're all, we just identify them as S for side. So when they're only going to tell you one side for a cube. And so you have to know that, okay, if I got one side, I got all the sides. I got length, width, and height. And so that's why the volume of a cube is just the side cubed, which is equivalent, you know, it's still the same thing as length times width times height. It's just that, you know, you're only going to be given the side. You won't be given three measurements like you will for a rectangular shape. Okay? So with that, let's take a look at some problems. And in this worksheet, basically we're working with volume, and we're also working with more area of a trapezoid. So we'll start with, again, here's our area of a trapezoid. And we said the area of a trapezoid is what's the equation for that? 1/2 times the height
times base 1
times quantity of base 1 plus base 2. Right. Alright. So it's going to, in this worksheet, it's going to tell you find the area of a trapezoid. Where the bases are 2 feet and 6 feet, and the height is 2 1/2 feet. Okay, so it helps to draw a picture of a trapezoid. know that the large base is 6, right, feet. Small base is 2 feet. The height is always, again, perpendicular to both bases, but you only have to, the only thing you really have to know is that, okay, my height is going straight down. And that's 2 1/2. Feet. Okay, so I recommend that you write the equation down to whatever object you're working with every time, because that's going to do 2 things for you. One, it's going to help you to remember that equation, and the second thing is you've got the equation right there in front of you. You got your shape right there in front of you. You just substitute in. You don't have to think about, okay, what's my equation, what's my measurements, and it's really easy to do that way. So, and I tell, all the way up to my trigonometry students, the same process. So, we go ahead and write the equation down. Alright, and so we're going to put in here now I like to go ahead and convert the 2 1/2 to an improper fraction. And work with it in the equation that way. So and I like to do that before I substitute it in, because then it's already done, you don't have to mess with it, and so on. So 2 1/2 as an improper fraction is going to be what? 5 over 2 feet, right. Okay, so we're going to put 5 over 2 feet, and then base 1, what do we put in there now? 2 feet plus 6 feet. Okay, and what do we do first?
Add the 2 and the 6.
We simplify inside the parentheses, right? So we're going to bring everything else down. 1/2 times 5/2 feet, and then 2 plus 6 is 8 feet, right? Okay. Now here, you see how you have 2 times 2. You can do this either way. You can multiply the 2 denominators together, or you can just cancel. You can simplify just from the 2's being split like that. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just go ahead and simplify with the 2's separated. We won't multiply them together. Okay, so what can we cancel here?
The 2 and 8.
2 can go into the 8, right? And that'll give us what? 4 feet. And can we cancel anything else?
No.
You sure?
No,
2
the
and
4.
2
2 and the 4.
can cancel into 4, right? And that'll give us 2 feet. So now what we have here, and these go to 1. Now what we have here is 1 times 5, right? It's 5. And then what else do we have? 5 times
5 and the 2.
5 times 2, right?
And it's 10.
Is 10. And then 1 times 1 times 1. We don't need to put a 1 in the denominator. And this will be feet, just feet or feet squared? Feet squared, right. And that's our answer. That's our area for our trapezoid. Okay? All right. Any questions with that? All right, let's try another